Welcome back to Midnight Writers Club, where sleepless creatives, horror lovers, and storytelling fanatics gather under the glow of the midnight oil. Whether you're up late writing, reading, or just looking for a reason to embrace the eerie hours, you've come to the right place. I'm Medusa, your host, and tonight we're stepping into a place that's both familiar and terrifying: the haunted house. It's a classic horror setting, one that has lingered in our nightmares for centuries. But why? Why does the idea of a house, a place that should feel safe, become so unsettling when it turns against us? The haunted house is one of the oldest horror tropes we have. It's been around in folklore, literature, and ghost stories long before Hollywood started giving us creaky floorboards and flickering lights. Think about some of the most famous haunted houses in fiction. Hill House in Shirley Jackson's The Haunting of Hill House, the Overlook Hotel in Stephen King's The Shining, Crickley Hall, Hell House, and even Crimson Peak. These aren't just settings. They feel like characters in their own right. But what makes a haunted house story so terrifying? It's not just the ghosts. It's the idea that your home, the place that should protect you, has turned against you. So let's break it down. Why do haunted houses scare us? Here are a few key reasons. The uncanny valley effect. A house is supposed to be familiar. When it starts behaving unnaturally, doors opening on their own, objects moving, whispers in empty rooms, it triggers something deep in our subconscious. Isolation. Many haunted house stories involve people trapped, either physically or psychologically. The walls feel too close, the halls stretch longer than they should, and suddenly, home is a prison. Emotional residue. The idea that a house can absorb trauma, grief, and violence, and then manifest those emotions into something sinister. A haunted house is more than just wood and stone. It remembers. The slow corruption. Unlike a slasher film, where danger is immediate, a haunted house story builds dread. You might not even realize you're in danger until it's too late. You don't leave the haunted house. The haunted house keeps you. Now, some of the scariest haunted house stories weren't made up. They were inspired by real places. Like the Winchester Mystery House, a sprawling maze-like mansion built by Sarah Winchester, allegedly to appease the spirits of those killed by her family's rifles. Or the Amityville Horror House, the site of a gruesome murder that inspired books and films, though the truth of its haunting is still debated. Or the Borley Rectory, once called the most haunted house in England. This mansion was plagued by ghostly apparitions, whispers, and poltergeist activity. Whether or not you believe in ghosts, there's something eerie about a house with a past that refuses to stay buried. Now, if you've been here before, you know what time it is. It's time for your midnight writing challenge. Tonight's prompt: write a scene where a character moves into a new home. Everything seems perfect at first, but slowly they start to notice small, unsettling details that hint the house is not as empty as it seems. No jump scares, just creeping dread. As always, if you write something based on this, tag me or send it my way. I'd love to see what haunts your imagination. That's it for tonight's episode of Midnight Writers Club. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to subscribe, follow, or whisper my name 3 times in the dark, whatever feels right. Next time, we're talking about something even more unsettling: urban legends. Where do they come from, and why do we keep telling them? Until then, keep the lights low, the words flowing, and remember, sometimes the scariest stories are the ones we write ourselves.